Good morning, friends. So yesterday we learned about tornadoes and we answered some of your questions about tornadoes. Today we're going to learn about hurricanes, and then later on we're going to compare tornadoes to hurricanes and see how they're the same and how they're different. So the book we're going to read is called Hurricanes, and it's written by Can Manolis. And you can see we have a table of contents that's going to tell us. So on page 4, we're going to learn what is a hurricane. On page 6, how do hurricanes form? So they're going to form kind of similar to tornadoes when we talk about it. And then on page 14, what can hurricanes do? Page 18, measuring and predicting hurricanes. And then we're going to learn about Hurricane Katrina on page 20, and then there's a glossary. So what is a hurricane? It is a beautiful summer day in the tropics. So tropics are those warm, beachy places. The bright sun warms the ocean water. This peaceful setting is perfect for the start of a hurricane. So even though it looks all peaceful, it can start a hurricane. Hurricanes are huge, spinning storms that begin over warm ocean waters near the equator. So that's one of the things we're going to learn as they start on the water. How do hurricanes form? Hurricanes need moisture to get started. They start over warm, deep waters. That's why they form over waters. They need lots and lots of moisture. The air above this water is warm and full of moisture, so it's very humid. Warm air is also light, so it rises to the sky. Warm air cools as it rises. Cool air cannot hold as much moisture as warm air. When warm air rises, its moisture turns into rain clouds. So remember, we got that warm air rising and then cooling. And remember, that's condensation. We're forming those clouds up there. Hurricanes bring wind. When warm air rises, cool air rushes to take its place, and this air movement is called wind. Wind and rain clouds can form a tropical storm. This is a storm with strong winds, but not as strong as hurricane winds. Hurricanes start as tropical storms. So what happens is it starts as a tropical storm and it builds and builds and gains power and turns into a hurricane. It says fast fact. Hurricane and tropical storms are the only storms that get their own names. Each one is given a name from an alphabetical list. Names can be used more than once, but the names for extremely bad hurricanes that strike land are never used again. So each storm gets its own name. A hurricane is a tropical storm that has gained strength, so it's got really strong. Hurricanes winds move faster than 74 miles per hour. So it does have fast winds, but remember those tornado winds, even an EF5 went up to 200 miles per hour. This would be like the wind speed of an EF0 tornado. The winds in a tropical storm move between 39 and 73 miles per hour. Scientists rank hurricanes by wind speed. There are 5 categories. So just like a tornado, there are 5 categories, okay? A Category 5 hurricane is the strongest. Its winds can move more than 155 miles per hour. So remember, that's right around that EF4 range on a tornado. So both of them have very strong winds. It says hurricanes winds move in a spiral. So if you can see the spiral right here, they rotate around a center point where the air pressure is very low. This is called the eye of the hurricane. And you can see they call it an eye because it's right in the middle and it kind of looks like an eye right there. The weather may be calm and the sky may be clear in the eye. The most dangerous part of the hurricane is next to the eye. This is called the eye wall. The storm's strongest winds are in this area. So even though the eye is really calm, right around there is actually the strongest part. It says hurricanes spin clockwise in the southern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere. They never cross the equator. So they're either going to form above the equator in the northern or below in the southern hemisphere. What can hurricanes do? Hurricanes can travel a long distance over the ocean. They die out if they move over cool water. Most hurricanes end this way, so most hurricanes actually don't hit land. Some keep moving over warm water. The water's warmth and moisture fuel the hurricane winds and rain clouds. So if you have more of that warm water, it's just going to keep making it bigger, bigger, and it's going to gain strength. These hurricanes keep moving and may hit land. And so look at the wind speeds and then the water hitting these places on the coast. Hurricanes can cause serious damage on the land. The place where they first touch land is usually most damaged. Hurricanes can knock down trees and destroy buildings. They also bring a storm surge. So this is a sudden rise in the ocean's water level. The storm surge hits land like a huge, powerful wave, and it can cause terrible flooding. So right here you can see a picture of a storm surge. It's like a huge wave. And so you can imagine if that water is going across, it's going to move anything in its path. Measuring and predicting hurricanes. Meteorologists try to predict a hurricane's path. They use satellites and radar to help them. They try to predict where the storm will hit land. Then people in its path can take steps to stay safe. People can cover their windows to keep them from being broken by winds and flying objects. The government might also order an evacuation. This tells people to move out of the area that is probably in the storm's path. So the thing with hurricanes is you have a little bit more time to predict for them. And so that's what you can get things ready. You can cover your windows, but then most of the time they ask you to leave the area so you're safe. Tornadoes, remember, form a lot faster, and so you only don't have as long to take cover. Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina was a very powerful storm that hit the southern coast of the United States in 2005. It destroyed buildings, roads, and homes. It also caused terrible floods. Many people lost their lives to this fierce hurricane. Thankfully, hurricanes cannot continue for long once they move over a big body of land. The land cannot provide the warmth and moisture that the ocean provided to fuel the storm. They soon die out. Then cleanup begins. Hurricanes can leave behind incredible destruction. So look right here. This was an actual street that has been washed away by the hurricane. And so we have our glossary with some of the words that we learned. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to connect to Seesaw now, and I'm going to show you how we're going to use those Venn diagrams to compare hurricanes and tornadoes. All right, so here is our Venn diagram, and remember, a Venn diagram is just two circles that overlap at one point. So we're going to contrast or see how hurricanes are different and put them on each of these sides, but then the things that we compare or see how they're the same, we're going to put in the middle, okay? So you're going to have different things like we could say, has strong winds. So has strong winds. So where would we put that? Hurricanes and tornadoes both have strong winds. That's right. So I put those in the middle, okay? What if I said forms over water? Where can we put that? That's a hurricane thing. Very good. Okay. What about forms in a circle? That's a hurricane. Very good. What could I say has a funnel cloud? Tornado. Very good. So you put that on the tornado side, okay? So what we're going to do is you're just going to move the different things I have on here from either comparing, which means they're the same, or contrasting, which means that they're different, okay? All right, you guys have done an awesome job. Thank you.